Let's look in more depth at the big deforestation agreement which was reached earlier this week, particularly an announcement today from the Global Evergreening Alliance and the Climate Asset Management Group for a new partnership to deliver a landmark $150 million nature-based carbon program in Africa. Well, there are 6 countries involved, including Kenya. And I'm joined by the Principal Secretary, the top civil servant inside the Department of the Environment and Forestry, Chris Kiptoo. Chris, welcome. What does this mean for Kenya?
It means a lot for us because we have just submitted our NDC. For the next 10 years, we require about $62 billion for mitigation and adaptation of climate change. For mitigation alone, $18 billion. And we have 6 sectors important, including land use change, and forestry. And so forestry is an important area that we are looking for. Therefore, this announcement for today is important because it contributes to the climate finance that we require to restore our forests.
But your country, there has been huge levels of deforestation with commercial interests and a lot of corruption as well. How is this going to stop that?
We have our forest reference level at the moment is 7.2%. We have a constitutional target to reach 10% by 2022, and therefore we have a national strategy which we are implementing, and this finance will help in complementing the resources that we already have to ensure that we meet the target of 10% by next year.
But there will be many who are very suspicious of this because, you know, there's been political complicity in essentially deforesting much of Kenya.
I think there's been very demonstrable evidence in the last few years under the leadership of President Uhuru Kenyatta to ensure that we deal with the degradation. We are stopping degradation, but we're also doing a lot of afforestation. And you can see programs already on the ground that are really aimed at ensuring that we restore and we have even made a lot of efforts to get back what had been already taken away into private hands, and we have brought it back to be under the management of government of Kenya.
But you know very well what's going on, particularly those who are trying to conserve the forests who've been shot dead. It's become a very unpleasant environment in which to be working. Indeed, your minister, Keriako Tobiko, has warned Parliament that there mustn't be politicizing of this issue. But you know very well that there have been people shot dead, conservation campaigners.
They are really, and it's unfortunate that that has happened, but they are very isolated cases.
Yeah, but it's making a point that those who are campaigning for conservation are seen as targets by those who want to deforest.
No, but you see, the government of Kenya is very keen and it's supportive of everyone who is involved in conservation. And you see a lot of them, that, including Wangari Maathai and many others, that we are supporting to ensure that we restore the forest. So those isolated cases should not be treated as what is the norm in Kenya.
Who's going to benefit from this vast amount of cash, though? Is it going to be clean money, or is it going to disappear very quickly into the pockets of those who can see a way of making money quickly?
No, I think we are actually calling for transparency. Even this program being launched today, we are very keen to ensure that the money gets to the intended recipients, and therefore we are going to be following up. It's not going to go through government of Kenya. It's going through
not
private
coming through
sector.
Your ministry,
it's
which
not
you run.
coming through. But even for monies that have come through our ministry, we have always done our best to ensure that we get value for money. And even audit cases that you see, even in some of the funding that we get from GF and the rest, we haven't had any problems of misuse of funds.
What do you think the benefits will be, particularly for up to 2 million farming families?
It means a lot for livelihoods because climate change is having a big impact on to Kenyans. We lose about 3 to 5% of our GDP because of climate change, and if this will help, if this money can come in, it is going to have a lot of impact on the households, because we expect that most of the farmers will then be able to use the finance in a way that can help themselves to adapt to climate change.
So that money will stop them actually taking the forests out?
I think that is really what we are looking at, to make sure that they see getting involved in forest management, not necessarily through cutting, but as actually providing nature-based solutions. We are saying for those farmers who are in, for instance, grazing, if they can stop grazing in the forest and instead go to dairy, maybe zero grazing units, they get biogas, and they use biogas to fuel their energy needs. That's much better than when they go to the forest to pick the firewood, and that will contribute to carbon emission. And there are many other benefits that will come out of this.
Chris Kiptoo, who's Principal Secretary of the Department for Environment and Forestry in Kenya. Thanks very much indeed for joining us.
Thank you
here
very
in Glasgow.
Thank you very much.